Let's begin by queering up trans rights. In Portland, Oregon, area schools fight against Archbishop over trans rights. Hundreds of Portland area families whose children attend Catholic schools are protesting Western Oregon Archbishop Alexander Sample's guidance that schools under the church's umbrella not recognize transgender and non-binary students' pronouns and identities. Sample quietly released the 17-page document of recommendation in January and not a mandate for the 41 archdiocese schools. But as the school year drew to a close, teachers and families said some schools, including St. Rose School in Northeast Portland, began to treat the recommendations as requirements, asking faculty members to pledge that they would uphold them. Rumors began to fly that more schools would be required to follow suit by the next school year, and that teachers who left would not be welcome at other schools in the system. Dozens of students responded by refusing to attend Mass and wearing pins and shirts in support of transgender rights. By the end of the year, many families decided not to return in September. The longtime principals of both All Saints K-8 school and the Magdalene School, both located in Northeast Portland, also resigned. If families in liberal Portland begin withdrawing their children because of the guidelines, it will be a significant financial hit for the schools following Sample's steps. So I was raised very Catholic. Like I taught Sunday school, I was an altar server, and like I have to say some of this hits really hard just for a number of reasons, but I'm just going to pay attention to the last part of the story, that is the resistance part. Yes. All these people who really showed up in support of trans students and gender non-binary students, and who decided, right? Like that is, there's a powerful story here about we get to decide how we treat one another, right? Like that is this is an important part of that story.
It is also now I'm seeking investment ideas to open private schools across Portland to take in all these parochial school students, because seriously, who does that? And also, I mean, don't you want that income, Archdiocese? Well, Your Eminence, you know.
I thought you were going to say arch nemesis.
Yeah, no, Your Eminence, you know, don't you have sexual assault, you know, settlements to pay for?
Yeah, and they do, and they have a lot, right? The best part about that story was that there's less and less enrollment. I still can't figure out why people send their children to those schools.
Right.
Like, how many more kids have to be abused? If you heard about a store down the road that one kid was abused, you'd never let your kids in that store. Why parents keep putting their kids in front of pedophiles?
I mean,
it just blows my mind. All those schools should be closed until they figure out what's going on. They shouldn't even be open.
Talk about it.
The thing is, though, I mean, when I grew up in Asia, I actually went to a Jesuit school. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not defending them. I mean, hashtag not all priests. But I got a great education. I got a fantastic education in the middle of Hong Kong during the colonial era, not during the communist era, and they were a great school. I got taught very well. No, the priest didn't even look at me sideways. So,
well, once again, a man in a dress with a smoke-emitting handbag, fancy shoes, and expensive jewelry thinks he knows best. And of course, he's dead wrong. And once again, the young students, they're the ones that are leading the way, refusing to follow the hateful rules.
Yeah, so, you know, there's a... Oh, sorry.
No, so I like what you said. It's all about the support of the other students.
Yeah.
When you stand up and you make a statement, I think that's really, really important and impactful. Not just saying, okay, we support you and we're gone, right?
Right.
Let's do something about it.
Stand up for one another.
You know, the really important part about a public school is that kids get to experience and learn things outside of their home. And why I talk about those private religious schools is that that's not the point. The point of sending your child to school is that they get exposed to things that they wouldn't normally get exposed to, and they learn to live with that, right? And so you kind of harm the child by putting them in an environment where everyone has to think the same, dress the same, they have to wear uniform. Right. Then when they get in the real world, they're like, oh my God, who are you? I never heard about you. Well, guess what? The world is diverse. It's been diverse. It didn't become diverse. It's always been diverse.
I mean,
Like, get those kids out of there.
could be worse. They could be homeschooled.
That's even worse.
To Paul's point, and then to kind of, but one of the more, I think, actually one of the most dangerous of the laws that was passed by the Florida legislature this past session was essentially to help privatize public education.
Which is horrific.
Right? That is
Charter schools.
Right, to essentially expand the voucher program, which is mostly going to go to people who could afford, that is like, it's even though everyone is eligible for it, not everyone could pay, it doesn't cover everything. So it's really going to go to a particular segment of the population, and it's going to help fund these kinds of stories,
With our tax dollars.
With our tax dollars.
Which is a big problem.
So, I mean, these kinds of stories, while they begin at the kind of local level, while they begin, they're going to have massive impact. So we're going to just be seeing the repercussions of this for years to come.
Yeah.
So
Keep walking out. Keep walking out.
yeah.
We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ+ community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.